This is Carmen.
And Moises.
And you listen to YogaBurn. So the title of today's podcast is...
Keep going. Keep going.
Is the mental aspect of your handstand practice.
Keep going.
Which is, I think, everyone talks a lot about the physical aspect and the alignment and all of that, but the mental part is just as important, if not more.
It's more.
Yeah.
That's why you leave. That's why you stop.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, are we talking two hands or one hand?
Either one. I mean,
They are not the same.
No, they're not the same. But, your handstand journey, which is a journey that a lot of people are on right now, and how challenging or frustrating that is. The one arm, for sure. I mean, it's just way, way, way more challenging, way more difficult. But the mental part of it and how to handle that mental part and what to do.
So how do you do it?
How do you... Well, talking a little bit in general about it. I want to say that you need to feel... For me, most people, when they feel frustrated with their handstand practice, they don't put enough time into it. There's just not enough repetitions, not enough input for the nervous system. So, for example, if you do 5 or 10 minutes at the end of your practice and you feel that you're not improving in several months, there's not a change, like there's really nothing getting better, that is too little input. That's what it means. And so, I mean, and also 5-10 minutes, you're really not going to make that much of a difference. You have to commit to, if you're serious about it, I would say
Half an hour.
Half an hour is the very minimum. I'm going to say, no, you have to dedicate...
Because you go, like, okay, so if you want to be slightly serious, just a bit serious, you should dedicate 2 hours every day.
No.
That is minimum serious.
But you should dedicate 90 minutes or 2 hours.
How often?
Twice a week.
Oh, wow. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, see. No, I mean, to start.
To start. I was not that off then. I was not that off.
No, but what I mean is that if you have to accumulate enough repetitions, right, for your nervous system, and enough so that, because this is not a natural thing to do, to balance on your hands, you need to give a lot of seconds, a lot of minutes to your brain, your nervous system, to figure out, okay, this is where I should balance. This is where I should be. And at the beginning, the area of where you balance is just, you cannot control anything. You're on your hands, but the area feels much bigger than your hands. That's why you just go in and passing through, going front and back, side to side. It just, then eventually that circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. As you practice more and more and more your handstands, then it gets to a point that the circle is just
inside the hand. And so you can balance with your hands and with your fingers. You can really balance and moving slightly your shoulders and just doing small repositioning of the body and small readjustments. Then you can balance, and then that is the moment that things start to happen. But if you don't give yourself enough reps, then it's just you're never gonna get there. And for every person, it's a little bit different. It's in terms of how many repetitions. So how many? Is that 1,000? Is it 10,000? Is it 2,000? I'm like this. That is very unpredictable. That is the hardest thing to calculate. But it is quite a lot. It's quite in the thousands for sure. So you have to, and with social media, people, post, I don't know if it's true or not. Many times it's like, I think this is a lie, but it's like, so this is me, 3 months I balance in handstands, and I'm like, doubt it, but okay, let's just say that is true. If that is true, maybe that person, because I've met some people that are very gifted, that have an incredible sense of balance, which is a skill that you don't really see it. Like, I mean, where you're, I don't know, when you have a really nice bendy spine, then you do back bends, you're like, oh, everyone is just, marvel, it's just amazed by that. When you're very intelligent and you can do calculations very fast, or, you're gifted for something. But you have a great sense of balance. Your sense of balance is not really challenged on a daily basis. So, you walk, maybe you stay on one leg, and I don't know, for whatever reason you're staying on one leg, or you're crossing like a river and you're just balancing on a tree trunk or something, and then you challenge yourself, by your balancing skills that way. But there are a few people that I've met that it's just amazing. How can they go upside down and right away their bodies figure out a way to find, just refine the balance, and they can stay. And that's really shocking to see, right? But it's pretty rare. Like, the majority of people do not have it. It is a gift, so the majority of people don't have that. So it could be that person that is saying, I did it in 3 months. Okay, maybe this person is just like that, and is that gifted. But normally you have to spend many, many, many hours just working on your balance and working on trying to find your balance on your hands. And people try, they get discouraged. They try, they get discouraged. And this is like the same song over and over. Like, I see that everywhere I go. I teach, and people are in the beginning, they're so enthusiastic. And then they start to see, oh, this is the amount of work that is required. Like, I'm not sure I want to put that much effort in this discipline, right? And then you kind of back off for a little bit, or life happens, or you move out of your apartment, or you switch cities, you have a baby, somebody in your family dies, and then you have a new pet, and so all those things that end up disrupting your routine, then you just fall out of it, and then you don't practice as much handstands, and pretty soon then you're not practicing handstands anymore. You get back onto them, and obviously that muscle memory is just it's gotten a little bit more dull, right? A little bit more obscure, so it's like it's smudged, and you have to polish that again and again, start again. That's why if you do too little, it's just too little input. That's why some people are like, I do handstands 10 minutes every day and I don't improve. And I'm like, because it's just too little input. And that's what's happening. That is the main problem. So I guarantee you that if you did, I don't know, if you want to do half an hour.
But I mean, handstands, even the two hands, it is so hard.
It's a hard thing, yeah.
You're holding your entire body on your arms instead of your legs.
Right.
So even 15 minutes, they are intense.
Yes, they are.
So if you just go down dog against the wall and stay 15 minutes, good luck. Not going to happen.
True.
So the
whole conditioning is another chapter of that.
Because there's a part of when you can get discouraged, that is the preparation.
Right.
You have to get your body to feel exhausted enough so it builds up muscle so you can stay there more comfortably.
Right.
So you need a minimum amount of muscle. Those people that come in and say, in 3 months I was able to do this, because you had the conditioning from another discipline.
That could also happen. That's also
gymnastics, true. From CrossFit, from whatever.
From ballet.
You've seen people that go to the gym or you're on a CrossFit kind of whatever, and they have been working out forever. They try handstand the first day. In 2 attempts, they are kind of not falling too much because they have the physical conditioning.
The conditioning, yeah.
So you get a normal human being without the physical conditioning. You have to work on that, and that requires time.
Yes,
because you have to get the body to work on something to a point where you can actually grow from it. The muscle can grow from the workout, and then do it again and again and again until you're comfortable, right?
Yeah.
And then your joints have to be prepared to be able to put some kind of structure, technique, so you don't end up hurting yourself, because that is going to stop you. And then you have to balance, and then you have to get the body to stop moving and your nervous system to identify the balancing point.
Right.
And all those things have to happen.
Yes,
So
all of that.
if your discipline, your life, wherever you came from, gave you any of those 4 areas for free, check.
You're gonna go faster for sure.
Right? I mean, somebody may have a hobby or like a sport or something that requires a lot of balancing. For whatever, I don't know which one is. It's not table tennis, but I mean something.
Yeah.
And then you go into hands. It's like, okay, it wasn't that bad, right?
Or like you're saying, like upper body strength or something, and
Something.
then because some people in the beginning, that is also part of a problem. Like when I teach immersions or I teach intensives, like we do a lot of handstands hours in handstands, you have to be very precise in the calibration of how much time upside down you do versus, and also how much conditioning on the floor or on the wall, because not everybody can be on their hands, up and down, on and off for an hour and a half.
No.
It's not going to happen, right? And it's not. And maybe they can do it one day, but I guarantee you if you do 4 or 5 days, by day 3 they're toast. So but not even upside down, just the conditioning itself, like just do some abdominals, some set of abdominals, 7-8 minutes of abdominals, or you do some jumps and put the hands on the floor, just do some hops and jumps, and you do a few sets of like 5 or 10 jumps. You do that a few times, or you go, like you're saying, down dog against the wall, or doesn't involve any balancing at all, just
Strength,
conditioning, or even on the floor, just doing some abdominals and folding, like doing some pancakes or just forward folds. Or that is very challenging for many people, just to be able to follow along those, let's say 2 hours that you do like conditioning and then some inversion time. By the time they're done, it's like I can't, and I'm like, your body needs to be okay with this. You need to be okay. Yes,
But I mean,
it was exhausting, it was challenging, it was difficult. Yes, it was definitely a workout or some exercise. It was not an easy thing to do, but you have to be okay. You cannot be dead for tomorrow, because you're going to practice again tomorrow. And if we're doing like 5 days in a row, or if you're practicing at home, you're practicing. So you have to gain time also, practice to gain for time. So if you start, okay, maybe not an hour and a half, but let's say you start with 30 or 40 minutes.
You start with 30 minutes twice a week. Let me set some normal human expectations to this conversation.
Okay.
If you do 30 minutes, which is some conditioning to warm up stuff,
yeah,
and there's some positioning so you can start working on the line, and the nervous system recognizes what the line is, and then the last 15 minutes you do upside down work, whatever that is. You can do a down dog against the wall and stay, and just get the shoulders strong. If you do that, you'll improve.
Yes.
The thing is that as you improve in this discipline, the next phase is 3 times harder than the previous one.
That's what happens. Yeah.
So
you're right.
Because then now you can jump. Jumping against the wall is 3 times harder than doing the down dog. But then jumping against the wall and trying to find some balance
is more difficult.
Is 3 times harder than just jumping against the wall. And then jumping up and staying most of the times, 9 out of 10. Instead of like jumping and staying 1 out of 10, you try to jump and stay 9 out of 10. Being able to nail the jump is 3 times harder than just jumping and holding some of them.
Yeah.
So every time that you get a new level that you want to say, I want to do this better, the amount of work you have to put in is 3 times harder than the previous phase.
I'm not sure if it's going to be 3 times harder.
5 times.
But
I can settle for 4.
It will definitely be more challenging. And if, let's say, you're not putting more time, then more hours, more minutes during the week, it's going to take longer. Right. So you end up putting more time. Exactly. So you either put more time in terms of, instead of 30 minutes, I'm going to do 60 minutes.
Or you do the 30 minutes twice a week, and the first phase, being able to be comfortable in down dog, it takes you 3 months.
Yeah.
You be able to jump up comfortably, it's going to take you 6, without like shaking the shoulders, without like in a comfortable, elegant kind of manner.
Right.
And then for the next one, it's going to take you a year.
And so each time it almost feels like it's taking longer, right? Each one, and I think that is part of a reason why people get so discouraged.
Yeah.
Because it is every step gets a little bit harder. Let's just think of
It's
it
a
that
little
way.
bit
So
only.
it's a little bit harder, and a little bit harder, and a little bit harder, or a lot harder. I mean, it depends. I think some stages maybe just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Some stages
bit
would be like
more. Yeah.
extra more difficult, right? So, but that is the main thing. Like, you have to one day wake up and say, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to commit now. I'm going to do this. I'm going to practice, and I'm going to do it. And if you stick with it, it is going to happen. I mean, I believe that at least on two hands, handstand is possible. Like, for almost every single person out there. There's the occasional exception,
9 out of 10.
someone like, you have this injury or something. I mean, but I would say the vast majority, you just have to give yourself that repetition and over and over and over. And I mean, it happened to me. It's happened to many people I've worked with. It's always a matter of just keep on putting the time and keep on putting the hours. So the mental aspect is going to help you stay focused and stay motivated to continue to practice. It's like, okay, I'm going to do it again, today again, and not expecting any results or, oh, will I do it again? Will I do it this way? I did it last week. I jumped 9 out of 10 times. This week I'm jumping 5 out of 10 times, and I can only nail those 5 times. So it's just because it's not linear, the progress, then it feels like that. But in reality, you're going upwards, right? You're improving.
It's like a staircase, kind of
And
like a staircase.
you're not really seeing that, because I think you get very caught up in the moment of,
You expect every day to do better than the previous one, and you don't see it.
yeah,
And you don't see it. And the advancement or the improvement, it's counted in months,
yeah,
basically. So
Yeah.
you record yourself at the beginning of each month, and you compare this month to last month, then you'll see an improvement.
depends on the frequency, depends on how often you do it.
Then the improvement is measured in 6 months.
Yeah,
So you measure yourself once in January and once
Once
in
in
August,
July,
July
July.
1st, exactly. And
And
that's
then-
when you compare.
and that's
That's
when
it,
you
twice a year.
compare.
Everything else is just work.
Yeah,
And go and go and go and
Exactly.
see, and you'll feel more comfortable maybe, and it'll be like you'll figure out how to work, what to work
And so-
on next.
because I feel like we just live in this moment where everything has to be catered to you.
Easy.
And it's
Everything
gonna
has to be
come
easy.
so easy, and if it doesn't come this easy, then what is wrong? Maybe it's me. I'm not, I just don't have a conditioned body for handstands. I'm not good at handstands. Or maybe, and that's also another thing you see, maybe I should find another teacher, right? And then you go and you jump from one to another, which a good teacher is gonna save you a lot of time, but you still have to put the work. You still have to work very hard, no matter what. That person, if the teacher is good, that person is probably going to save you from going. I mean, I'm thinking about the one-arm journey that is just full of black holes that you can fall into. And if you fall down that black hole, then you almost disappear. You cannot come back. You cannot recover. And you make a mistake, you thinking that is right, and it would take you years, if ever, to realize that you made a mistake, that this assumption was a mistake, and you have to retrace all those steps back and start from scratch again. When you have a teacher, that person is going to save you that, for example, right? Like, no, don't do this, don't do it, because at least for the one arm, in the two hands also, I think it happens in some things, but there are some things that are intuitive, and many things are counterintuitive. What you think your body is doing, it's like, my body wants to do this, is the complete opposite. What you should do is the complete opposite. So all that, like, I'm gonna do what it feels right for my body to some degree. I mean, yes, if your body tells you don't practice today, I'm not feeling good, it's not a good day, I feel very weak, I'm out of it today, like I don't have good balance, yes, you have to listen to your body, but other times the body knows shit. It doesn't know anything, and you need
You're upside down.
someone technique to tell you this is what's going on.
I do adjustments.
And you have to change that. You have to change that.
I do adjustments, and in the beginning, I would say move the right leg, and any leg would move randomly. It was a bet. It was like, so I ended up like grabbing both legs, and they say move this leg.
Yeah, you have to.
So they don't know which one is right, left, nothing. What is front and back? Which one? Nothing.
Yeah.
As soon as you get upside down, the brain has not been there enough cycles.
But not only that, I mean, sometimes you are aware of what is right, left, front and back, but you consciously do something on purpose. Like, I should do this, and I should lock my hip this way, and I should do that. And then
you throw yourself out.
You throw yourself out of balance. And then you go to your teacher's like, who told you to do this? And I'm like,
me.
My body.
My body
said,
I listen to my body.
This is what I should do. It's like, it's wrong. It's just awful. Like, don't do it.
Do the opposite.
This is not how it's supposed to be. Like, let me put you, like, this is how you're supposed to move. And you're like, oh,
you could have said that before.
Thank God that I went, I came here, and then you caught me, and you caught this mistake, because otherwise I would have continued to reinforce that pattern over and over and over. And once you reinforce that pattern enough, then it's really hard to get rid of it.
The worst that can happen in my mind, mentally thinking, right? You try to do a move of some sort. The one hand can be a move, right? Or you want to go into like a little fingertips on the one hand, or you want to do and move legs this way, or you want to do something, right?
Yeah.
And you get into a pattern, a technique, a way of doing it that is by no means correct, but it gets you some results.
Yeah.
Right? And then you get attached to the success of those results.
Yes.
And you say, oh my God, I'm doing this so well. Yeah. So much better than before, right? And then somebody comes in that knows more than you and say, if you keep doing that, you're going to hit a ceiling. You're never going to get the ultimate prize. You have to retrace your steps, stop doing that with that goal in mind, change the goal. You have to do it with this other intention. Same exercise, but with a completely different intention. You're trying to stay balanced, for example. You're trying to stay up your hands. The goal should be to move your weight, for example, right? We know that is one of the cases. And you go, no. No, because I'm having some success with what I'm doing. I'm going to keep going, and little by little, I'll get to the, no, you won't. No, you won't. That is so freaking hard about this. You get attached to the little success.
I mean, in yoga as well. Like when you do, so many times I've like, you see someone doing back bends, and I'm like, this back bend is going to end up hurting you. You need to retrain your spine and have more segmentation, or just so. And they're like, but it doesn't hurt. So it's like, why would I do it?
It's my power move.
Why would I change the way I do things if it doesn't hurt? I'm like, it's a good point. You're right. I mean, I understand. And who's to say that you're ever
you're
gonna
right,
have?
I'm wrong. Yeah.
You're ever gonna have some pain, but in the handstand world, that also happens. Like you're very attached to the way you do some things, and when your teacher points out, like, this is how you should be doing it, that is not correct. I think it depends on the individual, like how much pride you have, how attached you are to your own ego and just saying, I'm going to do it this way. Or are you there to really learn? Are you there to just put everything aside, everything you know aside, and say, just teach me, whatever, I'm here to learn, just whatever you have to say, I'm here to listen. And it's not as common as you think.
The listening?
The listening part.
No, they get stuck. The get stuck is common.
Yeah, but the listening, and I mean, I always thought, okay, if I'm gonna go somewhere and I'm gonna spend the money, I'm really gonna listen, because I'm paying you. So, I mean, what do you have to say?
But I mean, we are psychological creatures, and we may go to the teacher to get ratified that we are doing okay, because it's so uncomfortable psychologically to be wrong, right? Because the whole wrong is practice. It's not a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
That's something we learned in the last months or weeks, or whatever that is,
Thanks
right?
to Hunter.
Thank you very much. So we have been trained to associate wrong with failure, because you had exam when you were a little kid, right? And you had one after another, and for 20 years, whatever the years, 15 years, they hammered into your head that being wrong was the bad thing to do. Being wrong is one more way that you know it doesn't work, and it's one way of saying that my body has to keep working in this aspect, in this area, and it's practice I need to put in this area.
So if you don't want to be wrong, then definitely handstand is not for you, because I think handstand really puts a mirror in front of you, and it really tells you you're falling, so you failed. So you just. Just so you know, you're falling, and
is it practice or failure?
People, no, but a lot of people, they try to justify. You embellish things, and you kind of disguise the truth, and handstand is very much black and white in terms of you did it, you didn't do it. And yes, there are ways. Okay, you did it with a lot of technique, and it was really great execution, and you didn't do it. But it is also very binary, and I think that's why people get turned off by that, because you get discouraged very quickly, and you're like, I'm falling. I just can't. I can't do it
for some reason,
and you don't see the value of falling. I've fallen so many times.
Exactly.
I think that's what you're trying to say. You fall. Let's say I try for half an hour, and I try 50 handstands, and I nail 2, and I fall 48 times, and then you're like, this is terrible. Like, I'm never gonna do handstands. What a terrible waste of time. What a terrible practice. And your brain gets you there. It gets there so quickly, and it's the harshest critic ever. It is so demanding. It's such a tyrant. It's such the worst boss you could possibly have, and it's just like that. It's just grilling you. Maybe for some people it's like, no, you're amazing. You're still amazing. You're a beauty, a flower in the wind. But in my case, in many people's cases, is the opposite. If you're a perfectionist or you like to do things well, then you have a really hard time accepting that. You're like, wow, this is a failure of a practice. But you look at it in terms of how many times you stayed up and how many times you failed. You fell out of your handstand. So with those parameters, I think you're gonna be depressed. Right, because you're like, I stayed 2 times, twice, I fell 48 times. But if you look at it from a different perspective,
which is, I don't know,
the perspective of practice. I practice this exercise.
You said the word is learn.
I practiced this 50 times, and 48 times I fell, but that means that I gave 50 times input to my nervous system to try to polish things. So the merit is trying those 50 times. And then, it's your brain and your body, little by little, are going to develop that connection, that very intricate and very delicate connection that you will start to balance. You're like, oh my God. And so there's just so many elements at play that it cannot be resolved, or it cannot be judged as failure if you fall, success if you stay, because you could stay and still look like shit. You could fall but still have learned so much out of it.
We judge everything. I think we judge everything by the whole outcome, and almost how the outcome looks, more than how it feels or how useful it is or whatever. Because we dismiss the journey, we dismiss how much we learn from all the practice, from all the failure, right? Because you get a person that takes 3 months to get something done, right? And then you get another person that takes 3 years to get the exact same thing done.
Right.
3 months against 3 years.
Right.
And after these 3 months, after these 3 years, they are in the exact same level, whatever the level. But there's something harder else, something else harder that they can try, and then they can try, and then they can try, and then they can try, right? So you can, and every time that you go for something harder is really hard, right? The person that spent 3 years, it was forced to spend 3 years. She had to be way more aware on how her nervous system was learning. Because, how much have you seen your nervous system learn and digest the idea of where the balance is, how much the body is moving? Like, somebody that has only taken 3 months, they only have 3 months worth of information. You have 3 years worth of information, and part of the work
and
of the 3 years.
We value more the person that has 3
months.
No
doubt, because we want that life.
Yeah.
We want the life of someone that with 3 months, I have it. I don't want the life of the guy with 3 years. Shit, I don't want to be 3 years doing this.
Right.
I want it right now with the least amount of effort to me, because we want the outcome. You don't want the learning or the knowledge. That person that has 3 months of worth of knowledge knows less than the person that has 3 years. If you have to get a teacher, get the teacher that took 3 years to get to the same place. The person that got 3 months only knows 3 months. This person knows 3 years. And also this person that has 3 years will judge you very differently. The person that took 3 years to get there will say, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Your brain is fucking you up. I know. Shut up. Keep going, keep going, keep going. The one that takes 3 months, after a year of you trying, would say, you're not done yet?
I don't know if they would say that.
Right? I'm not saying that because you're paying me.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that. But why are you not done yet?
Right.
She won't understand why you're not done yet. What it will teach the person that took 3 months is teaching many people. Yeah. So one of these gifted people, because we have met them too. One of these gifted people that can do whatever they want with their bodies, right? Because they have the balance, the conditioning, the intelligence, the physical nervous system intelligence. Some people are born with that stuff. They don't know much about how to get anywhere. However, if they devote their time to teaching others, and then they see, and they see, and they see, and they see, after 10 years of seeing 1,000 cases, they'll know what they're doing. The person that actually takes 3 years to get there, and they get there, they take the work and they figure out how to get there. They have a fucking master's in 3 years. They can start giving you lots of
because we value the outcome. We value the outcome. We don't value the learning or the information or anything else.
We value, and also it's like, well, I am lazy. I'm not very clever. I don't understand very much what I'm doing. Therefore, everybody else is like that. We judge everybody else like we are. We think that everybody else would act the way that we would act in that situation. Because we have nothing else to judge them by but ourselves.
True.
Right? So somebody that took 3 months is like, I want that. This loser taking 3 years, I don't want to go to get close to that because maybe I'll get infected by the 3-year disease. When actually you want the one that took longer. It's gonna explain to you so much more.
Yeah, it's just
so much more.
Definitely. It's definitely because it's just a very building up process, and just very, very, very slowly. But so what we're saying is that the brain is always playing games with you, and in many days it's trying to demotivate you because you're not doing it well, it's not having the results as fast as you would like, or you're not doing as well as you did last week or last month, and it's just constant chatter. It's also something that you need to learn to control when you're doing your handstand journey. So you're gonna find that if you have a trouble meditating, if you cannot sit down, cross your legs and close your eyes, then go and try to practice your handstands or your one-arm handstand, and I guarantee you there's a lot of that.
If you survive, you'll be very well.
Like that chatter, you need to control it. You need to stop that voice, those voices inside your head, because otherwise you're just never gonna get there. You're never gonna do it. You're never gonna continue either, you know.
You're never gonna stay up, because if the head is talking, it will distract you and you will fall. So the physical act of staying in balance requires your mind to be as blank as possible.
Yeah.
So meditation number one.
Yeah.
And then,
or focusing on one thing. Let's say that you're thinking about your balance on your hands, or you're trying to really feel where your hips are on top of your shoulders or something. Then, but the moment your mind gets distracted and you take your mind off your hips, for example, like I'm thinking about the one arm, right? And the moment you take your mind off the sensations that are happening, and just then it's over. Like you're falling already. You're out. Exactly. So it's everything. It's everything. So like the intention that you put and what you're thinking about, what you're focusing on, it's absolutely everything. It's 90% of, and then I personally would put everything else behind that, you know, like the conditioning, the alignment, all of that behind that.
Behind the mental aspect.
Behind the mental aspect, the mental part. I mean, and we've all seen. I've seen people that are very delusional, that they think that's the other extreme. People that think they're so amazing. My handstand practice is amazing. Like I'm doing so well, and I'm like, you're not really doing particularly well. I don't know if you're doing that to pump yourself up, and you talk about it or you post about it, and it just, but maybe it pumps you up, so good for you. But you're not really doing particularly fantastic, right? But maybe it helps you to just keep going, right? Other people are more self-deprecating, and they throw rocks at themselves, like, this is awful, I know. And I'm like, you know, just relax. It's fine. It is what it is, you know. Because also, I mean, something that we haven't mentioned, but at what stage in your life you start to practice, for example, it makes a big difference, for example, right? I mean, the conditioning and what you've done in the past, obviously, but it is very different. And this is something that I don't think people really truly grasp. It's very different to start when you're in your teens or even early 20s. Your handstand practice, for example, it's very different to teach someone that is 21 years old and someone who is 51 years old. And it's just completely different. Not just because of their bodies are different and, you know, they've lived, and then maybe one is more out of shape or more overweight or something, but also your life, like how your nervous system has stored things, how you move. So you've done moves in your life. Let's say that you get in the car the same way, and you drive the same way, and you enter your house the same way. So there's movements, patterns of movements that you've done thousands, if not millions of times throughout your life. When you're 21, 11 years old, 7,
you don't have time.
You don't have time to make that many repetitions. So there are already patterns in your nervous system that are so engraved, and you have to engrave a new one, just kind of with the same depth as this pattern, so that the body and the brain and the nervous system recognizes this new pattern. And so it's just really challenging. You have to do it thousands and thousands and thousands of times to catch up with the rest of the wiring in your body. You know, and that's why when people start, you ski when you're 4 years old, or you start doing, I don't know, any physical activity when you're very young, you start swimming when you're 2, then you just like, it becomes part of you. It's just a part of the way you move, or part of the way, you know, how your brain and your body operates, and they're like, ooh, and they just blend in together. But later in life, I mean, there's things that I see some, you know, when I see like Mauro or other people that there's somebody that has started when they were 7 or 8 years old. There's just no way you can ever catch up with that, just no matter how many hours you put, because it's just so embedded in the way they move that is not possible. You can be a good second best, a good second option, you know, like just to be like a fantastic copycat, and you should be okay with that, because it's just, you cannot rewind time, and not yet, I guess. You cannot rewind time and go when you were 7 and start to do it when you're 7 years old. So it is what it is. So a lot of people that come to class and they're like, you know, I'm 40 years old, or I'm, you know, 45 and I want to start to do handstands. Fantastic, let's do it. But, you know, it's
take a while.
It's gonna
get only so good.
Takes a lot of time, and I mean, is it gonna be second nature to you? I'm not sure we will be able to do that. But I mean, you can definitely learn.
If somebody
you can definitely
40...
learn to do handstands, and you can definitely balance very well, and you can do one arm. I totally believe that you can do. But is it gonna be just like jump in and right away finding your line, or right away, like, I'm not so sure. Like that quick of your nervous system, I'm not sure that's achievable when you start a little bit later, you know. And so so we'll see. So that's you try. I mean, it's interesting to see, like, you know, how some things as simple as doing handstands, for example, it's like its own little universe, and it makes you question a lot of things about yourself, about your practice. Just puts a lot of things in perspective. I love the mental aspect of that practice, because it can mess up with you so much, you know. But yeah, it's interesting.
Is that a good word?
It's interesting, but yeah, it's good. And advice. So we can leave with the advice. What advice would you give them? No, advice. You do advice.
Advice?
And then let's see if I can.
Well, the first advice would be try. I mean, this is so different from anything else that is gonna give you lessons, opportunities to try something that you've never tried before. For real. Like being upside down, it's its own experience. Right. It's different. And you may like it. Because again, only if you like it, you're gonna do it for a long time. But I think that try is the best advice first. Because then, yes, if you're gonna do this for a longer time, figuring out the frustration part and how to deal with frustration, I don't know how much that is psychological practice that has nothing to do with handstand, and handstand is just the activity you happen to be using in order to explore how you handle frustration in general, right? Or how do you talk to yourself?
It could be,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, life has put you on the road of learning handstands so you can learn to talk to yourself nicely.
True.
And life has used that trick with you, and it's trying to make you a better person, human being, by trying to do handstands, or trying to make handstands interesting to you. So you want to do more, but it's hard as fuck. So you have to learn to talk to yourself more kindly and gently and nicely, and try to see the positive, not just like, this is awful, because you're gonna stop.
Just the results, or not focusing on the results.
You're gonna stop then. You're gonna make it into a toxic experience, kind of, right?
Right, exactly.
And the amazing thing is that it's in your power. Because you are talking to yourself about that. You're talking to yourself in that tone. You're doing that to yourself. There's nobody else to. I mean, if you have an awful trainer that insults you, then we have somebody else in the game. But if you mostly do handstands on your own, it's you and your handstands, right?
Yeah.
So learn, become
and the body
a better
is,
human.
I mean, it's always learning. I mean, you are, in the long run, you are always improving. Your brain is always trying to figure out ways to how to optimize, let's say, your handstand or your balance. So in the long run, it is improving, but it just kind of feels like you're getting worse and better and worse and better, and so you only focus on the moments that you're doing worse. And as soon as you do better, then you try to do something more difficult again, so it becomes already like, oh, I'm doing so bad. And it's just, that is also part of it's a mind game. You move the goalpost so much all the time that you're always in that zone of I'm a failure, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it's not, because you just move the goalpost. If you were where you were in day one, you'll be like, I'm amazing, right? So this
But you
not
forget.
true. But you forget. So
I mean, you judge your day, you judge how well you've done by how hard it was,
right,
or how many times you did it right, the success crap, right? And then the whole goalpost is a fantastic point. I mean, day one, I remember you saying, I don't know how to do this. I don't know if I will ever be able to do this, which was just getting on your fingertips. Now, this is obvious. And it's like, I never said that. I never said that getting on my fingertips was going to be very hard.
I remember. No, I remember.
Said.
I remember.
You said that.
Yes, I said.
You said.
I said
I mean,
it.
you said
said
things
it.
like,
I said it.
I don't know if I will ever be able to do that.
Right.
Now you do it like 9 out of 10, and you put it.
Yeah.
And then now it's not valuable because you can do more.
Yeah.
Because now you see that your capabilities should allow you to do more. You are aiming for a higher goal, a higher challenge, more challenging thing. And then now you judge yourself again against the results of the more challenging thing that you have chosen.
Right.
I don't know, at least celebrate that you're here.
It's true. It is very true.
Yeah, I mean, go move the goalpost. Of course, move the goalpost because that is how you keep advancing and you move and you try and stuff. But every time you hit one of the goalposts, I don't know, have a pizza party.
Yeah, celebrate.
You celebrate somehow.
It's a little celebration because it is pretty challenging. Yes, you're right. You're right. And
Be
so
nice
it can be demoralizing
to yourself.
So that would be your advice.
Be nice to yourself.
I would say
no. My advice is pizza parties. If I have, I mean, because I can have one, right? So
I think
pizza parties.
I would say I would advise. I'm not sure about the pizza party, but
That was my part.
What I would say is finding the right ratio of how many
cheese and tomato.
No, how many days to practice versus not, right? Versus not getting so burned out, for example, or just like doing something else. I mean, you're not doing handstands. You could be doing yoga, or you could be doing rock climbing, or you can doing lift weights, or whatever it is that you do. Finding the ratio that works for you, it's crucial. So you're still working at it, and you're still giving constant information to your nervous system, but you're not getting burned up from it. So if that is once a week or twice a week or 30 minutes here or 90 minutes, just kind of adapt it and figure out what is the best ratio for you to make it work. And if you can go to get some trainings done, workshops, etc., attend workshops, because that helps so much with the motivation aspect of it.
True. And the information aspect.
And the information, of course, I mean, learning so much, but you also feel very motivated right after that. So at the very least, once or twice a year, 3 times a year, you want to just kind of have that. If you happen to have a support group, close by, like people that they're all like-minded, they all want to do handstands, they're all, it's a group of 10 friends, 6 friends, whatever, and they all want to work on that is really priceless. Doing it alone requires extra strength in your mind.
True.
And to me personally, I think that person that is alone is always going to advance much slower, always, no matter how strong they are or how intelligent or how connected with their bodies they are. There's something about either building a community or just going with a group of people that it is literally, it's just priceless. You cannot put a price on it, and it's just so ethereal and so intangible, but it is so important, and when you finish, you're like, oh my God, this was amazing. And that feeling, you cannot pay for it. You just get it there, right? And then I think for me that is essential. And
nice.
you need to do that. So yeah, if you're definitely like alone, you want to go and find, so that motivation will last you for some time, and then eventually fades away and they just get into their routine, etc. and then you have to go find it again. 'Cause if you're alone, then it will be a much harder route, to do it. So if you have a community of people, you should be very grateful about it, because
So we're in sync.
really
Community, pizza party. I think that
that connects connects what we're talking about.
that is the outcome of this podcast. Okay.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
This was Carmen.
And Moises.
And you listen to YogaBurn. All right, see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.